So one of the most common criticisms that I see made by antinatalists directed towards the the normies is the claim that they are basically delusional as shit for attempting to grasp at some semblance, some shred, some feeling of immortality through having a biological child. And like I said, very common criticism and undoubtedly a very significant factor in terms of why many people do have biological children. And even if it isn't as direct as that, even if it is, a lot of it may be subconscious. Like, I don't know if a lot of people go through those steps at that age of having a child to where they recognize, okay, I'm going to die and my body's going to die, and along with that, my entire sense of self, my individuality will die along with it. And the closest thing I have to some grasping at immortality is through having a biological child. I think that's the most meaningful route I can go down. So that's what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know if many people actually go through those steps consciously, but it is, again, undoubtedly it plays a substantial role. And I think most people should be able to recognize this quite easily in themselves. And it's definitely, I think it is a feeling that likely grows with age, this desire to, again, justify one's own existence. And the older you get, the more you realize, gradually your capacities for pleasure, sensual pleasure, are going to diminish as you age. Oftentimes, significantly diminish. And many people, as they age, they desperately hold on to that. They don't want to lose that capacity for sensual pleasure. But many people recognize, well, they recognize the emptiness that exists in that as they age. They're able to look at it and all the time they spent chasing it and see it for what it is, which is, quite empty and hollow and futile. And they more clearly recognize that if their existence is to be justified, it is going to be justified via some semblance, some shred of meaning, some actual benefit that they may be able to leave behind that will perhaps persist beyond their death, and maybe not for very long, but at least it will outlive them. Something that they have passed on, created, will live on beyond them. And again, for many people, having a biological child is as close as they're going to get to that. And of course it's fucking selfish, I'm not saying it isn't, but it's also just very deeply rooted in human nature, and you're going to have a very difficult time in convincing people that they should not do that. And again, there is no shortage of examples to be found of human beings going to absurdly elaborate lengths to have a biological child when they're having fertility issues, for example. It's so clear that for many people this is just what they're going to do, and you shaming them or attempting to argue against it through oftentimes these very spiteful methods, these very high and mighty, I'm better than you, it's not gonna fucking work. Just regardless of whatever way you attempt to confront their desire to have a biological child, it's going to reign futile. You're not going to have any real luck in convincing someone who wants to have a biological child that they shouldn't do that, regardless of how you approach them. So I do think, just with this knowledge in mind, with this reminder in mind, I think the best thing we can do is just to convey the seriousness of the decision. And I've already said this shit so many times. It feels like I'm a broken record. But it's like, I don't know, so many people just don't see it, I guess. So I'm going to keep repeating it until people fucking get it. No, but what was the main reason I even made this video? I got a little off track there, but yeah, it's just meaning and why people have children, and a lot of it is out of a desperate grasping at some semblance of meaning. And you're not going to be able to really do much about that. So I think that, and again, there are just countless, I keep repeating that statistic because it fucking blows my mind, the fact that so many people are brought here just as a complete accident, a complete mistake. So you're going to have far better odds of attempting to prevent and reduce on that note. Fuck. Wait, no, wait, Odamu. Okay. Hey, come on, man. Come on. I don't know.